much, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate y'all being here today. Acting Administrator McCabe, my constituents tell me that the joint EPA NHTSA rulemaking published in August imposes the compliance burden on the manufacturers of truck trailers to achieve reductions in greenhouse gases. Is that correct?
So you're speaking of the heavy-duty rule that we published this summer, and
Yes, ma'am.
it does address a variety of aspects of trucks that can contribute to lower greenhouse gases, including trailers.
Okay. And so that brings my first question. The legal authority that gives you all the right to do this on motor vehicles, defines motor vehicles to mean, and I'm going to read from 42 U.S.C. 7550, paragraph 2, the term motor vehicle means any self-propelled vehicle designed for transporting persons or property on a street or highway. So recognizing that trailers are not self-propelled, they are not a part of the heavy truck, they are added to the heavy truck after the manufacture of the heavy truck, from whence comes your legal authority to regulate trailers?
Well, Congressman, we lay out our response to those comments and our legal analysis at great length in the rule, but I will tell you that without a trailer, a truck is not transporting goods. And so we see the trailer as an integral part of the vehicle that is covered in the Clean Air Act.
And you and I are going to have these disagreements for years because we just see things differently, and I recognize that. But in all due respect, one of the principles of law, and I understand that you're not an attorney, and I'm not.
I am actually.
Oh, you are an attorney. Okay. Well, there you go. One of the principles is, I was giving you credit. One of the principles is you go with the plain meaning of the words when Congress writes a statute. Motor vehicle means any self-propelled vehicle designed for transporting persons or property on a street or a highway. It would be my opinion, and I think based in well-settled law, that if you wanted to include trailers, you should have asked for an amendment to the code section as opposed to deciding on your own at the EPA, well, we see the truck can't be used without a trailer to haul goods, therefore we're going to make a determination. That's our job. I mean, respectfully, you're not elected by folks. That's our job to make that decision, and maybe it's the right decision. But it's something that we should have decided as opposed to the EPA just deciding to rewrite the words in the code section. And so I find it very difficult to rectify, and while you may have a very lengthy clarification on how you get to that point, the plain meaning of the words are motor vehicle means any self-propelled vehicle designed for transporting persons or property on a street or highway. Trailer doesn't do anything. Furthermore, the manufacturers of those trailers are not, in most cases, I don't know of any, but maybe there are some, they're not the truck manufacturers. So they are completely different entities across the board. And I'm not talking about wholly owned subsidiaries or anything like that. They're completely different companies. And so a person can go out and buy their truck from one of the manufacturers, and then they can go buy their trailer from any number of manufacturers. And so I'm having a hard time figuring out how y'all came to that conclusion. Furthermore, and for many of my colleagues who may not be aware of it, there's a Smart Way program where you all encourage folks to do things on trailers. And the Smart Way is currently voluntary, but it appears from this new ruling that has come out that you all are making the Smart Way program mandatory. The problem that I have with that, Acting Secretary, is that helps on trucks that are going to be hauling across the highways, but it does not help in those situations which I'm told about half of the trucks that are out there hauling things are in local traffic, sometimes congested areas. These additional costs and extra weight added to the truck by the Smart Way program, which appears to now going to be basically mandatory, they don't give you any fuel efficiency for those trucks that are hauling things in a local setting. Now, if you're on the interstate highway, they clearly give you benefits, and the Smart Way program is beneficial to the truckers. What do you say to that? Why does it have to apply to every trailer that's sold out there when you've got a lot of folks who don't want to go that direction because it's not going to save them any fuel efficiency or give them any benefit?
Well, Congressman Griffith, I'm not sure where you've concluded that the rule made the Smart Way program mandatory, because it certainly doesn't. The rule sets expectations and standards for a large range of different kinds of trucks, and it is very detailed and diverse based on the kinds of trucks. And we looked exactly at that question. Different standards are appropriate for vehicles that are on the highway operating at high speed most of the time, driving many, many miles, and other standards and other technologies are appropriate for vehicles that are used in urban settings and on smaller roads and stop and start and that sort of thing. So I think you'll find, and I think the manufacturers find, that we've been very responsive to exactly those sorts of things and have not made the Smart Way program mandatory.
Okay, that's not what I'm hearing. My time is up. I would say, though, that if you're talking about the averaging features, that didn't kick in for years, and a lot of the smaller manufacturers feel like they're going to have some real difficulties. With that, Mr. Chairman, because time is up, notwithstanding lots of other questions, I yield back.